KFK 102.3 FM, licensed to New Bern, North Carolina. News, information, community awareness, education. The Mary Perkins-Williams Show.
Good morning, radio audience. Hey, happy new day. Happy new day. I am so happy to be with you. I got up this morning, got dressed, and is able to move out. Had a little emergency at home, but hey, God is good. My help was there. So I want to say to you, last week we were talking about African American history and Pitt County. I want to share with you various aspects of it. And since I thought today I'd bring out, and I couldn't find my bound copy of my um, uh, heritage book that my mother is in, so I brought my own knowledge of here and a notebook. And those of you who can see me on social media, I brought my notebook here as to how I house my notebook. Now, as you can tell, this notebook is old. I've been doing it for a long time, so I need to replace the binder, the bound copy. This is a 2.5-inch loose leaf notebook because you'll be changing all the time. So if you want to start housing your and collecting information on you, your family, for your great grandchildren, you would be able to do it with this. And I always go down to, I always purchase me, whenever I'm there, a box of these plastic sleeves that you put uh, feces in. That way it'll protect them. So my notebook is a little battered, but my information inside the notebook is okay. I was talking about myself, how I grew up, and the things. Today, I want to give you some educational knowledge that I have as it relates to, and I'll call this, I got it from my engineer this morning, as to what I'll name it, digging into your roots as an African American, how you find things about yourself and how you start collecting things for yourself. And that's what we'll talk about today. This is the Mary Perkins-Williams Show on Awesome Radio, WECU, and, um, and 1570 AM and 107.5 on the FM dial. And it reaches serving, I'm here in Greenville, North Carolina. You get the full essence of what Awesome Radio Network uh, is compiled of when I'm introduced. So today I want to uh, share with you a little of my formal training. Um, it's not finding your history, discovering your history, or collecting your history is not a difficult task. One thing you have around your house that exists all the time are old obituaries. Old obituaries. Now, I have some of the family members, my family, and when I do my family, one thing you know, the men, at least the men that I'm familiar with, never talk very much about their family. It's the woman that's always talking about her family, the mother and the father and all that. Men don't. So the best way to gather any history on the men of the family are the programs that you get when you go to a family member funeral. And any event that you have where family exists, and they have a little sheet on the family, or a picture of the baby, christening, all of that documents that you can use, collect, and put into one of these, I can't think of the sleeve right now, what you call it, but it's this plastic sleeve that you can slip a whole sheet of uh, um, a sheet container. Oh, yeah, that's it. Sheet protector. And they come in two styles. One is matted, like it look a little frosted, and one is glossy, a clear plastic sort of like. And it doesn't matter which one you get. Where do you find them? You can find them any place, any office store, any. Sometimes you'll find them at Dollar Tree. There's not very many, but you can get maybe 5 or 6 at the Dollar Tree, maybe. But if you go to an office store like Office Depot and these any office store, I don't want to do any advertising. So any office store and any place that may sell stationery and that sort, you will find these sheet protectors. Um, Always just have them. Keep them in that box that you have, and and you can purchase when you go there, maybe a binder. You can get binders, and this is notebook, a 3-ring notebook. This notebook, and you might want to also get since you're just getting started, a 3-hole puncher. That's so that that sheet protector will have 3 holes in it, and that will keep it from sagging in the center, and it'll keep it laying straight. Now, I started before Hurricane Floyd, and my notebook has the signs of moisture, and that's because with Floyd, the atmosphere was very wet, damp, and humidity everywhere for a long time. And so over the period of time, and you keep it in on your shelf like I do, that humidity would get into the outer cover is a little, you can still see what it is. I just make me a little cover sheet so I can keep up with it. And I have it, and I, on the outside, just put it in there in a certain alphabetical order. The order that I choose for keeping my information is the family name. The family name is the last name that you are given at birth. You get now we are as a people, the women are wanting to use hyphenated names. Nothing wrong with that. That means that you have put your birth name hyphen and then your married name so that he gets a little credit too. Because when there are children involved, they get to look at the outside and get some idea as to where they come in. What I did in this one, and I on this your little cover sheet for my notebook, I have the family. And in this notebook, I have obituaries. Now, if you're going to put more than the obituary, because there's one that you can carry as it relates to real estate, or there's another one you can say wills, depending on what you have. But these are all documents that'll give you some history about your family and give your children or in grandchildren and great-great-great-grandchildren something to work towards, because every family wants to grow, develop, and become a bit more prosperous than every family member want to be. Oh, my mama didn't go to school, didn't finish high school, so I'm going to finish high school. My mother didn't finish college, so I'm going to college. I'm going to college. She didn't finish. Okay, well, I'm going to finish mine, no matter what I'm going to. When you make those promises to yourself, you are giving yourself a goal. So in this particular notebook, I have the family. Now, this family here, I may use my mother and my father's family. Then later, you can separate it. You can have the family that your mother and father generate, and that's the family. Then you can have a notebook that say the last name of your father, the given name of your father, my given name is Perkins because my father, Mr. Perkins, or Reverend Perkins, married my mother, who was a blunt. So in my notebook, I would have uh, Perkins-Williams. The notebooks sets I have three sets, is Perkins, the Perkins family, and then the other one is saying the Blunt family. Now, I'll break it down a little more later on. And in this particular notebook, so that my children know, I said, compiled by Mary Lawrence Perkins Williams. My given name is Mary Lawrence Perkins. That's what my parents gave me. And then where I collected the information for the most part is right here in Greenville. I haven't lived a long time in any place other than Greenville because this is where my parents were, and they were born in 1906 and 1903. And so at that time, they were not educated because this country didn't allow blacks to be get education in the earlier days of life. And it was not until, oh wow, in the 1800s, latter part, that they started sneaking and getting an education. So I'm not going to get into that. I want you to think about how you can leave your own history here for your children when you have transitioned from this place and this life to another place and another life. So doing that history is good for you. Now, so I named this show uh, Digging Into Your Roots as an African American. And since we're starting, I'm sharing with you how to start. You've been starting a long time. I know women do because they keep all the obituaries. There is a place they put every obituary in every house. So if you have older parents, get those obituaries, or someone in your family who still lives, because there are a lot of 90 years old now going around, then you can get their obituaries and tell them you like to keep them for time to come. And then you decide how you compile your records, your information about your family. In an obituary, you have a lot of things. I did a little preface, Preface, and then I have pictures. For this particular person, I have her name right underneath the picture. I have her name as in birth name, and then I have her maiden name, and then I have her married name. And in the birth name is connected to, right beside her first name, and then the mate of her um, in the parenthesis, I have her maiden name and the married name on the right hand side of the maiden name. That's so that you know that this person was first single, and then she married, and then she married again in another name. So I separated so that I would know that it changes. And right behind her picture, I have the cover of her obituary. Now, this obituary, what's the date on this? On every obituary, you will know that the outside is folded like a little book. It's always 11 and a half by 8, 8.5 by 11 rather. And it has on the outside the where the funeral is. That's another history right there. So here, I didn't read that one here. So with this one, I have the outside in another cover. On the inside, I open it up. Now, most time I make a copy and have the cover and stuck in between my inside and my outside. In other words, so that when I turn my sheet, this particular one didn't have a cover sheet with it, which means that I probably copied it from one of the relatives and they didn't let me have the cover sheet. So I made a copy, which is most important information. This funeral, they usually have a date on it. It has the procession. It has the hymn. It tells you where the funeral is because it was the choirs of Mount Calvary. Then the scripture and the prayer and the singing. Remarks, the various people who spoke at the church. And this one just happened to have Dr. W.L. Jones, the pastor of Mount Calvary. The deacon was Alonzo Haddon from the church. And Mrs. Daisy Spain was the woman from Home Missions. And the bishop was Dr. Stephen Jones. All of them spoke at it. So that tells me that this lady was very well known in the hospital. The acknowledgement, that's the person who reads for everybody, because back in the day, everybody was not read, was Mrs. Patsy Smith. And the obituary was read silently. So that means they played some music and then everybody was given a chance to read. After the obituary was a solo inserted, because this is handwritten. And that solo was done by Mrs. Rosa Harris. The eulogy was given by Bishop C.C. Thomas. Then the reviewing of the remains. Now see how much information I got and received from this one side of the obituary program. This person is interment in Brown Hill Cemetery. That's right over there in Greenville. So they born here, lived here, and died here. And at the obituary, now very interesting, just to say what the history is. It gave the obituary Alberta Little, the oldest child of the late Samuel Hemby and the late Francis Blunt Hemby, was born in Greene County and departed this life on April the 22nd, 1981 in Yale Hospital in New Haven, North Carolina, New Haven, Connecticut. Now, all of that is written in the paper, in this paper. And there's a little spot telling you about what the person did and their family, a little information, some more, who she married. She married James Little, and to this union, how many children were born and how many preceded him in death. All of this is in that one little sheet, and that sheet gave history to family members, other family members. Then I'm going to turn this page here and I do another one. On this other page, because I did not have the cover for that one, just letting you know that your obituaries just stuck in the drawer at home, in a drawer, or just put in a box, but they're all usually kept together. And most older people did that. On this one is the cover, Homegoing Services for Alice Fleming Columbus. This is a Fleming person. And who did the funeral when they were born, 1914, January 8th, 1914, and they died June 23rd, 2003. Goodness gracious, I just got the signal that we have completed the first part of the show, and I will be back in a few seconds to let you know some events going on, because I want to start giving a habit of doing as the outline say I will do for this show. This is the Mary Perkins-Williams Show on Awesome Radio. 1570 AM, 107.5 on the FM dial, WECU. And I'll be right back. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Youth Explosion at A Touch of God's Presence Ministries, 1300 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville, empowering the next generation. March 14th, beginning 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Guest speakers Elijah Mitchell and Elder Alvin Watkins. Everyone is invited to attend. For more information, contact us 252-427-2892 or 252-695-9007. Host Pastor Apostle Valeria McLeod. Youth Explosion, empowering the next generation. March 14th, beginning 2 p.m. at A Touch of God's Presence Ministries, 1300 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville.
To commemorate Black History Month, here's Dr. E.L. Branch on the special bond between African Americans and Jews that Dr. King and others inspired.
If any group could identify with the plight of Black people in America, it's our Jewish brothers and sisters. Their history has also been marked by slavery, oppression, ghettos, hate, and deprivation. That's why Jews stood faithfully by our side in the fight for civil rights. We've always come together, our two communities. Now, again, we're standing together against the anti-Semitism and racism of today spreading around the world.
The fellowship stands in solidarity with the African American community. Learn more about the shared bond between African Americans and Jews and their struggle for civil rights with the booklet On the Front Lines of Faith at ifcj.org/frontlines.
Hello, my name is Tracy, and you're listening to Awesome Radio. Thank you.
Awesome Radio. Yes, awesome. News, information, community awareness, education. The Mary Perkins-Williams Show.
I'm back, and at this part of the show, it's a very short part, and I'm going to talk about what is happening and what you can attend during Black History Month. First of all, February, starting Thursday of this week, early voting starts for a lot of campaigns. It runs from February 12th and runs until February the 28th. There will not be any Sunday voting. When you go to the polls, you need to have your current ID. You can have just your driver's license. You can go to the Board of Elections, which is 1100 North Green Street, and have your free voter registration card made, and that card will be automatically put on every race that you will be able to vote for based on where you live. Now, that's what your voter registration is. And what I have today as my source, information person always got to have a source, is the daily newspaper. And it talks about singing Valentines and barbershop course, offering singing Valentines from Friday to Saturday prior to Valentine's Day. Roses sale. This is Women of the Moose will hold their annual Valentine Roses sale on Friday and Saturday at the Greenville Moose Lodge. Music series. Farmville Community Arts Council and the Pitt County Arts Council presents Roberta, a Roberta Flack tribute concert. Oh my goodness, that's a good one right there. Starting at 7 p.m. on Friday at the Paramount Theater, 3723 North Main Street, Farmville, North Carolina. The event will feature GLRYA and RAKIEM Walker Project, and the RAKIEM Rackham Walker Project with other special guests. Visit fcAC.ludus.com, or you may call this person in Farmville, 753-3832. Now that sounds like something I like. That's Roberta Flack. Roberta Flack used to be in Farmville back in the day. That would be wonderful, but I know she won't be there this time. Business After Hours, Greenville Pitt County Chamber of Commerce. Business After Hour will be held from 5 to 6:30 p.m. February the 19th at St. Paul at John Paul II Catholic High School Athletic Complex, 2085 Quail Ridge Road. This is a free event, and it provides casual atmosphere for connecting with others, chamber members. That sounds interesting. Black History Celebration, Sycamore Hill Missionary Baptist Church, 1001 Hooker Road, will host its annual Black History Month celebration at 9 a.m. on February the 21st. The keynote speaker will be U.S. Senate Chaplain Barry C. Black. The church will honor the following as trailblazers during the event. So you will be able to meet the trailblazers of African Americans. It's in the, I'm reading from the Daily newspaper, Tuesday, February the 10th, 2026. That was yesterday. Shred-a-thon. The Greene County Seniors Center, 104 Green Ridge Road, Snow Hill, and North Carolina SMP are sponsoring Shred-a-thon event from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on February the 27th. You have a lot you want to shred. You don't want your information to get picked up by someone else. And I'm trying to watch this. I got 4 minutes. I'm trying to read it all. You need to go and have your information shredded. Make sure it's paper. Listening tour. Pitt County Schools has announced dates for its second listening tour. Sessions begin at 6 p.m. First one starting at J.H. Rose and North Pitt High School attendance area will meet on March the 5th at the Community Center at Pitt County Office Park. 415 Government Circle. That's the new community center at the Government Circle. It's in the north part of Greenville. And it is this is nice listening session all about schools. Rose High and North Pitt. Start making your notes so you can have your questions ready. The next one will be, neither doing the next one. It's going to be March the 27th. So you'll be able to do Aiden Griffin High School and D.H. Conley High School. The third one will be Farmville Central High School and South Central High School, and it will be April 9th. So those are upcoming events that you need to be in charge of. Don't say you don't have children in school. You live in this county and you own property and you pay taxes. So you need to know how it needs to be spent, and you should check it out, ride by it and look at it, and you will know what the school are, whether or not county commissioners and school officials will be asking for more money for whatever the needs are. Find out why. If they want the county board of commissioners to raise the tax, why? And why do we need to do that? So take it easy. relax. This is the Mary Perkins-Williams Show on Awesome Radio. And if you want to call in, the number to call coming up, because I will be working on how you can do your collection of history. And that's 252-756-2008. You can call in and ask questions about how to collect, how to arrange your history in your notebook. I know other ways, but this I thought would be the best way, so I don't have to worry about tearing anything, and I can open my loose leaf notebook and put it in here and be ready to share with you. When you come back, I will share information about research sources available right to you right here in Pitt County, and what you can find in Pitt County and how you can start organizing. So I'll have that list for you, and you will be able to leave your legacy, leave a documentation of your family and your family history. This is something good because there is very little history now on African Americans, and some people are taking African American resources out of their collections, which is not good because that's history. And if you grow up, you won't have a foundation to know. And if we're all gone, you won't even know who these people are that have such a history that you will be looking to. We have 20 seconds to go, and I'll be back on Awesome Radio, and you may call in and ask questions. The number to call is 252-756-2008 on Awesome Radio of the Mary Perkins-Williams Show.
Coming soon to this network, mental health and substance use addiction. What is your conviction? Hello, my name is Apostle Gary Lee, and I'm a licensed clinical addiction specialist and the pastor of Spirit and Truth Worship Center. I will be the host, bringing you insight on the challenges of mental illness and substance use addiction and how they affect our communities. We will explore ways to address these issues with explaining treatment methods and spiritual enlightenment. I invite you to join us every Friday at 10 a.m. right here on this network. If you have any questions or would like to contribute or be a guest, please reach out to me via email at apostlegarylee@gmail.com. Again, that's apostlegarylee@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you and engaging with you concerning these issues, and I pray that God bless you and heaven continue to shine upon you.
Awesome Radio Network is gearing up for our annual Mother's Day and Father's Day gift bag giving for the residents at McGregor Downs Health Center. $10 will sponsor one bag. If you would like to donate towards this community event, contact us 252-756-3137, and together we can show the love of Jesus, encourage and brighten the hearts of the residents during their stay at the McGregor Downs Health Center, Greenville. Donor's name, organization can be attached to the cards if desired. To learn more about this annual community event, contact us at 252-756-3137. That's 252-756-3137. We are a 501c3 organization under Community Care Fellowship, doing business as Awesome Radio Network, where God gets the glory. Hello, this is Akila speaking here from the Awesome Radio Network. We are your vehicle to help drive the gospel of Jesus throughout all the world and to every creature. If God has placed radio ministry on your heart, we'd love to connect with you. Our number is 252-756-3137. That's 252-756-3137. We are Awesome Radio. We're growing. Thank you for growing with us. News, information, community awareness, education. The Mary Perkins-Williams Show.
And welcome back. I'm so happy to have you. I'm talking about how you can start your own library of African American history. Because when you listen to some of the media nowadays, they're talking about taking the books off the African American, on African American, taking them off the shelves, getting rid of them, and destroying them. So we have to be very conscious of keeping our own history, because I don't see us as trans, you know, transcending all at once from any place. We're talking about how you can find your history as African Americans, and how you can store it, how you can keep it, and what you should do for it. So what you should have are, number one, uh, the sheets, the protective sheets, the protective sheets for a sheet of paper, and that's 8.5 by 11, and you can buy them from any store. You need to get all of your obituaries that you have stored all over the place and pull them all together, and then organize them. Decide how you're going to organize them. Write it down so you can be consistent in how you put it together, and then you can change it after you collect and find so many. And you can get some from your family members and make copies and take them back, and that way you can increase your size. Now, organizing, where you can find it officially that you may not have. Number one, the country has a policy where every child born gets a birth certificate. So you can go to the Pitt County Board of Registration Registrar. You can go to the Pitt County Registrar's office, and that's right on First Street, down by the riverside, down by the Tar River. You can find the Pitt County Registrar's office. And one day I will invite her here to talk about how and what kinds of information she has. Not only does she has birth certificates, she has death certificates, she has marriage license, she has all kinds of information that a family may or may not have, because on the death certificate you can find out what disease or what health issue run in your family. If you have the obituaries, that will help you, and that may help future members of your household, because some diseases travel from century to century, or from birth to birth, or from year to year, or from decades to decades. They don't go away if you don't do what is necessary, just like measles is coming back today, coming back now. So that's the county registrar's office. I will invite her here. Also, you can find information at the Pitt County Courthouse. This is where you can find real estate and wills. The clerk of courts have the wills. Then you make a sheet of how you're going to organize your information and how you're going to put it in. And let me tell you how my notebook, as I have all of these obituaries, and I just happened to turn to this one, and this obituary is 1985. So this is how long I've been doing this, maybe a little older than that, but I did collect some of them from other people, because this obituary is May 18th, and I just reached and thumbed up, May the 18th, 1939 through March the 29th, 1999. And I had to get that from someone. Yep, that's a family member, someone I know, and shared it with me as a family. And this is, the last name is Perkins. So I was able to get that from one of the family members, and that makes it good. because, and on that, a little notes, if something came up in during this service, I would put a little note up there, a little comment, and that sort of thing. You can build your own history, and maybe one day one of your offsprings will write a book about the family, or write a book about what kinds of things happen in a certain day. Because here I see one for being Carr. That's my mother's family. And this obituary, this being Carr was born April the 8th, 1930, and he died March the 31st, 1999. And that one is really neat. Look how clean that is. It's kept, oh my goodness. I got this, and it's kept in one of these glossy sheet protectors. And it is not soiled at all. And the flood was 1999. Floyd, right here, where my house had 5 and 6 feet of water. I became homeless. And oh, here's one that's in color. This is very nice. And this is really interesting. So just looking at this, it does a lot for me as far as my history. And how did I arrange it? I arranged it by first name. And I'll tell you why I used the first name. Last name for women change. Sometimes people didn't know spellings for others, and all they knew was tadpole. Tadpole. Well, Tadpole had a last name. Could have been Tadpole Perkins. And the only thing they can think of was the nickname called Tadpole. So if you don't have the obituary, but you're gonna the older folks remember the nicknames. So you put it in a T because everybody be looking for Tadpole. And that Tadpole will come out in your notebook. Now, here's what you do. If you have a nickname and they're called a tadpole, or a nickname that everybody knew, and I'm not going to tell you what mine was. I'm not going to do it. Nickname. You put a sheet of paper in there that said, that have the nickname, and the nickname, and in will say C. The nickname will say C, the real name. See, if Tadpole was my nickname, then I would say see my real name, which would be Mary Lawrence Perkins-Williams. That's what would be. Then you would have to leave the T's for Tadpole and look at the M's for Mary, because everyone will remember Mary Lawrence, because that's what they called me back in the day. So, but yes, I did have a nickname. Yes, I did. And I'm not going to tell you, so it's none of your business. So I want you to know, and I didn't particularly care about it, but it did. Now, when you are researching, don't miss anything that you never know what you'll run across, but always talk to family members. Now, are there pictures? Yes, some of my obituaries in this book. I'm going to get me a notebook, a notebook. Sometimes notebooks go on sale after school starts, and I may have to separate it. But I get a notebook. I get sheet protectors, which is a clear sheet that you can see through. I have. You can get dividers, alphabets, so you can divide it. You don't have to worry about what it is. But I didn't get all that fancy. I just put it in there because at the time, there are a lot of things that cause you for not doing it. You can sit down and organize it later on how you want to. But this is creating a historical picture of your family. Now, if I had a separate picture of the lady, and I did have a separate picture of her, but they didn't. I did not. I got a copy. I received a copy from that person of her. But if I had an actual picture of it, I would have stuck that picture inside the sheet protector and put the sheet protector behind the obituary, because you read from left to right, and when you're turning a page, you read from top to bottom, alphabetically, left to right. That's how you do it. And my notebook is set up because these sheets, the obituary, for the most part, are on one. Obituaries are usually printed on one whole 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and it's folded in the center, which will give you 4 separate pages: a front cover, an inner cover behind the front cover, and then the inner side of the back cover. And on the back cover, you know how obituary normally are. It talks about who's the funeral is and who's the undertaker is, and then it talks about where they're buried on the very back of the cover. That means that you can find the family cemetery. Some things are hard to say. Now, some really, really put a long obituary in there, especially when you have the person that does a lot of stuff. I don't know what they'll say about me, but I don't even worry about it. And this, I just happened to turn to, and I never could find the connection between with Carolyn Yvonne Perkins Brown. Now, she's my classmate for this young lady is Josephine Perkins, and I didn't know her to be a cousin or anything, but my father was the Perkins, and like I told you, men don't talk about their families that much. I wonder why, but I won't guess. And then there are programs in here of obituaries, rather, that have a whole sheet. It's a big cover, like 11 by 17, and it's folded in half. And you have to, and I just stuck that in the top, and that page is in here in the top, but it's in right order by the person's name. And that's all you want to do, be able to find. I remember somebody named Christine Tatum in my family. Well, was it that? And you find it. I have an original, and then I have a copy of that person's. This obituary was in color. The paper was color. So I can remember having a copier in my house, or a printer in my house, when my children was young, because I didn't like having information, and you have to keep everything, and you don't know what to do with it. So I made a copy, and I put it in both places and say C, SEE, C, and the next place it might be. So if something happens to one page, it is another. I just noticed that there are other people in this notebook that some of the names in here was in my family, had my family's name in here, but the person herself didn't have the name that I knew to be a direct descendant of my father and mother. So I keep it in here, and then in the other notebook I would have my mother or father, because in this one it had both. And back in the day, you never know what they did. So I would make a copy of this particular obituary and put it in both places, and have the person come up with their own assumption as to why that person had relatives from both sides of the family into in their obituary. And sometimes it may mean that the person didn't know and they just put it all in there. That's why I tell my children, now my son is good for finding cousin. He'll find a cousin. I said, well, how that person get to be your cousin? I don't know, Mama. That's what I was calling them, cousin. So every cousin ain't a cousin, and some cousins are blood cousins. But he'll pick them up. He said, I like them. They ought to be my cousin. So he would do that. My daughter never did, but my son would do it, come up with names. And it's just amazing how things happen. Even though some of these sheets have stains on them, and I don't, you never know, because see, with obituaries, there's always food, so you never know why. And there are ways of reproducing these copies. I'm always amazed when I look into these notebooks. Now, I have 6 notebooks. This one just happened to be A through I. Not many people have I's in their name, but with the way the young naming their children now, you would have to have something to figure out what it was or know what the name is. Now, organization. I was talking about research, how to find them where you go, courthouse, the registrar's office, and then organizing in a notebook. Then you can have a thick one. There are places where you can bind them. You can go to some of these office companies and the company and tell them that you want it bound like a book, and they can do that for you. Printers can do that. I can't think of a printer right now. Yes, I can. But y'all can look in the Google it and find printers, and ask them, do you bind things together? And they can tell you that. That's a good way of doing it. In other words, I think we are with social media, we can write our own history. What I lost during the flood was the movie pictures, because I used to take movies of the family, and the flood came unexpectedly here in Pitt County. So I lost all of my Super 8s, I lost all of my reel-to-reels, and I lost all of my cassettes. These are movie pictures that we have. Some of the pictures was retained because I kept my books high on the shelf, but my pictures and stuff was down low, and some of them was destroyed. But how you store. Now, I can take this notebook, and I am going to take this notebook because the binder is coming apart. I'm going to get me a new notebook, put me a new cover on it, and I'm going to put it inside of a box. There are nice boxes nowadays that made of, like you fold it in like it's being tucked in a blanket, and then you can label the box and the notebook, and then that should prolong the life of the notebook. And this is the Mary Perkins-Williams Show, and I'm sharing with you how you can create your own African-American history or your own any kind of history of your culture. If you're here from another country, then you can start your own book. As I'm not from Poland. Let's say I'm from Poland and I just arrived a couple of years ago. I can get pictures of how it looked when I was here, when I arrived, where I started, the trip here, all of that. I can create quite a history of African American. It is time for me to end already. Good stuff. This is the Mary Perkins-Williams Show. It's been a joy for me sharing with you how you can start your own African American history for you and your family. Next time, we will continue on the Mary Perkins-Williams Show, African American Roots and and how you can preserve it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dr. Wiley Nifong. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio.